so they can jump on later. So hi everyone, I'm Ingrid Campbell, and
Eric.
This is Eric. I didn't put his name up there. Sorry.
It's all right. I don't need my name up there.
But we're really excited to start these every week. We're calling them lovingly the Fireside Chats. If no one got that reference, sorry, but we think it's funny. But anyway, so we're going to do these weekly on Wednesdays.
Yeah, Wednesday nights, 8:30 Eastern time.
Well, Mountain Time. 8:30 Mountain Time.
Excuse me, 8:30 Mountain Time. So we know that it's a little bit late for some of the East Coast folks, but since it's recorded, it'll be posted to the YouTube channel. So you can definitely drop us any questions or anything like that you had, maybe previous to the chat or something.
Yeah, we're trying to keep these Q&A. So if you have questions and you can't make them, but you know what the topic is going to be this week, then just send us the questions beforehand. You can message me or just post them on in the comments of the post when I post them each week. So what topics do we have coming up, just to give everyone an idea of what we're trying to do with these?
Yeah, so coming up, we're looking at doing a newbies call, trying to kick off the month with a newbies call each month. So
yeah, so this is all new distributors, so just basics for eSuite and how to get started with your business. We'll do that the first Wednesday of every month, so that's next week.
And then for the rest of the month, we're going to kind of try to come up with topics that everybody's been chatting about. One that we've heard of a lot recently is a men's call. We'll try to, have a guest speaker every week that relates, or somebody that we find is doing a really good job with, whatever topic that we're chatting about. So we'll do a men's call. We'll do compensation plan at some point. We'll do potential DTs maybe.
Yeah, so like if we get enough people, but potential distributors that really want to know more and ask us questions, we'll answer them live on here, and then send them back to you for them to sign up. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if we get enough interest in that, we'll do that. And if you ever have a topic that you want, let us know, because we're going to try and do these weekly. So, do you have anything else to say before I introduce our guest?
No, one quick thing is, obviously there's the Q&A section on the Google Hangouts. For those of you who are not logging into Google+, you can enter comments that I'll be reviewing over here. You'll see my head do this a bunch, and that's because I'm looking at this other computer. You can put comments underneath the YouTube video.
Yeah, so if you're watching on YouTube, comment on the YouTube, and we'll read those right now and answer them.
Yeah, and in the future, we just found out about Periscope, so
yeah,
we'll definitely talk about how to get Periscope.
We just can't have a guest speaker on Periscope, so that's the only reason we're not using it. But so if you're on Google Hangouts, please ask questions. I have the Q&A app up here, so we already have one question. So just submit questions. If it's not even related to the topic, that's fine. We'll try and answer as many of your questions as possible. So
yeah,
good. So our guest speaker tonight is my sister-in-law, which I'm really excited about, Kate Weiser. She is a double diamond, and she's incredibly amazing at enrolling distributors. So we're going to talk to her about how she runs her business, a little bit about how you get distributors on Facebook. And so without further ado, Kate, if you want to introduce yourself and just kind of tell us a little bit about your background really quick on how you started your business, and then we'll ask you a couple questions. So go for it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kate. I was a nurse for about 8 years before I started at Works, and I started it because I wasn't very happy with my schedule and not getting to spend time with people that were important to me. So I jumped in and just did it. So I started 11 months ago. Actually, 11 months ago today exactly.
Cool. That's exciting. I didn't know who was your anniversary. Great. Okay, so I know you have been using Facebook a lot to reach out to new distributors. So can you tell us a little bit about your daily routine on Facebook, like how you grow your audience, and take it away from there for Facebook tips?
So first, I think something really important to tell people is that I did not want to use Facebook. I thought that I was really concerned about who am I going to bother? Are people going to talk about me? What are people going to think? And so I did not use Facebook until a couple months ago. And if I had to say a biggest mistake in this business, other than not starting sooner, it would be not taking advantage of Facebook well before I did, because probably 60% of the distributors I sign a month come from there, maybe 70%. So I know that people are hesitant to get Facebook involved. It works involved in their personal life. Sometimes a lot of my distributors tell me that, but it's really, really a good tool. And the great thing about Facebook is you can choose who sees your posts. So if you don't want grandma to see your posts, then just leave her out of it. So that's really important. But my day-to-day routine on Facebook is I follow all the women through the People You May Know tool. If we have one friend or if we have 30 friends, doesn't matter, I will follow her. Same thing with like people who have joint names like couples. I follow all of them. I add as many people as I possibly can see through the People That You May Know tool. It's starting to get to where I'm out of women and it's just men, so now I'm looking in other places for new friends for Facebook. And then I just post. I should post every day about It Works, but I don't. But I try to post at least 4 times a week, and I try to post an opportunity post. And of course, I try to post other things so it's personable, it's not just ads. But I try to post at least 4 times a week with a opportunity post, and I don't post like just the little pictures of the Ruby bonus and it says get $1,000 by next month or has a picture of the Ruby chart. Like the pre-made ads that a lot of people use for Instagram, I make my Facebook posts really, really personal. And I think that is one of the big secrets to success is no one wants to be sold to. But people want to feel they love a success story. And so if you make your posts personal and about you and about how you can help other people, you will sign up distributors.
Cool. Okay, that's awesome. So I don't know if you're doing this yet. Tell me if you're not, because I can give some tips on this. Is there a way that you are making sure that your audience is seeing your posts? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you do anything to interact with certain people so that when you post something, it's coming up in their newsfeed? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I love.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll give a couple tips on this because Kate has some awesome posts, and sometimes. So basically, Facebook works that the more you interact, so like and comment and share other people's photos, those are the people that are going to be showing up in your newsfeed. So if you want to show up in their newsfeed, it's really important that you're commenting, liking, whatever, just interacting with these people that you want them to see your post. So if you go through your friends, I highly recommend making lists. You can go into your friends. I could probably show you real quick.
I know how to make a list of my friends. I do know how to do that.
Yeah, I guess for the audience. So make a list and put in, make a non-It Works list. So, you're going to have a lot of friends that are distributors. So try and separate them out. And then you can actually have your news feed show all the people that aren't associated with It Works. And you can go through there and just kind of like their posts, comment on a couple posts, just interact with them, and then your post will show up to them. Because I think you do have really amazing posts. But Facebook is very hard to actually get your message to the correct people.
Right.
So just something to kind of think of. So when someone shows interest to one of your posts, if they message you or comment, do you have a certain script that you use, or do you really try and tailor it to them, or how do you, do you give them all the info at once, or how do you first start talking to them?
It depends on what they say to me. Some people will just say, how can I start? In which case I just get down to it's $99, this is how you start, this is the website you go to. If they just want to know a little bit more about it, I try to tailor it to them, what are your goals? Do you have any kids? But I have the same general idea for all of my posts, but no, I don't always work off a script.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have one question, and if I know there's quite a few of you on here, so please ask questions. If you can't figure out how to use the Q&A, if you're on YouTube, just comment below our video. If you're on Hangouts, you should see the Q&A, and if you don't, then you can text me. I'm going to give you my phone number. It's 435-901-3007. I'll give you that a second to go get a pen if you need. It's 435-901-3007. So text us some questions. It can be about absolutely anything. How Kate's made it to Double Diamond, what she does placing, how she works Facebook, what else she does with her business, anything. Or you can ask Erica or anything. So please send those in. We want to hear from you. So our first question is, and Kate, you take any of these that you want, or I'll answer them. Doesn't matter. So is it better to convince people to sign up as a distributor rather than a loyal customer? And if they want to convert, is it better to wait until they have been a loyal customer for 3 months? So I know my answer to that, but you can take it, Kate.
Boy, I think that can really go either way. I think that that's one of those things there's no wrong answer to. I do not wait until they've completed their 3 months to make them a distributor, because I don't want them to change their mind. If they want to be a distributor, I want to harness that, that drive and start them right then, and while they're still excited about the products and their business. So I don't make them wait 3 months, and you never know if people's financial situation will change. So I make them a distributor right then. As far as if it's better to sign people up as distributors or loyal customers, I think both is very important. You cannot promote, obviously, without loyal customers or without distributors. So I don't feel like there's more value in one than another. If you think this is someone who would never ever work their business, then obviously you want them as a loyal customer, because a distributor who has no volume and doesn't do anything isn't doing you any good. But I think it is really a matter of opinion. What do you think, Ingrid?
Yeah, no, I think you answered it perfectly. Yeah, I mean, as far as someone, finishing their 3 months or not, that's definitely not important. If they're 1 month in, it is free for them to upgrade to a distributor, as long as they're, right under you. If you haven't placed them anywhere in your organization, at any time. So they can stop their loyal customer account. So I like you said, Kate, I like to get them to sign up right when they're ready. Don't let them kind of get in their head and talk themselves out of it. They could be a really good distributor, and they could be, really good at this business. So kind of go with it when they're ready to go with it. And yeah, as far as else, getting a customer or a distributor, right, it's who's right, it's what's right for them. If they want to sell this, if they have friends that they want to share it with, even if it's just to get the 120 product credit and they never do anything else, that's a benefit to them. So, go with what you think is going to work best for them. So yeah, so that hopefully that answers that question. So, okay, next question. My problem is stay-at-home moms who don't have the $99 but are seriously excited about the opportunity. What more can I do? That's a good question. I think that's the majority of people we talk to, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, this is kind of a hard one, because $99, I know it seems like a lot, but if they're not willing to go and have a yard sale that raises $99, or stop buying their coffee for a month to raise that $99, I kind of feel like you're going to have a hard time getting them really motivated as a distributor. So if they help them come up with ideas to come up with that $99 to start, you can help them sell wraps to begin with. Make sure that it's you doing that. But you have 4 wraps in your kit, or they'll have 4 wraps in their kit, and they can pre-sell those with your help. So if you're the one selling them and helping them on their Facebook, announcing that they have 4 wraps that they have for people to try, that's fine. That's a way to raise the money. But you can kind of gauge at how good they're going to be, or not good, just motivated in this business by that. If they can figure out a way to come up with that $99, that's a huge insight into how well they're going to do. So if they're not willing to make that effort, then I don't know if it's going to be worth your time in training them, honestly. So everybody's
story is different too. I mean, we all know that. Kate, I mean, I'm sure you have a multitude of stories with people that you've talked to. I mean, nobody's coming from the same background. Nobody's coming from the same situation. Right. So maybe what's your advice as far as like how do you talk to the different people? How do you navigate kind of that water? I mean, obviously we have our tips that we give, what Ingrid just said. But what are kind of some of the things that you do to kind of connect with that person and get that conversation started?
So if they are having trouble with the $99, like Ingrid said, to me it's not a deal breaker, but I do think that if you are willing to have go to a swap shop, sell your clothes on consignment, get rid of old baby items you're not going to use, have a yard sale, I will host a party for you and pre-sell your wraps at that party if you will give me a location and give me invite people. But I can't provide the want to. Like if you're not willing to do those things, I can't make you want those things for yourself. As far as talking to different people, I have so many different people, different backgrounds on my team. I have grandmothers, I have college students, I have nurses, I have lawyers, I have military members, I have everybody. And so I think that as long as you're yourself and you're personable and people can tell that you're not trying to sell them something, that you're not fake, they will appreciate that no matter what kind of background you come from and no matter what kind of background they come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's so easy to relate with all of that, and it's sometimes it's just best to kind of hear out their story, understand their situation, and know when to press and know when to let go. In a sense, I mean, how many people that you talked to months and months ago that all of a sudden, the light came on, or something changed, something made it happen. So
definitely,
I think the win for all of us is, hey, we talked to somebody, or we got to this part of the conversation, and of course we want them to sign up. We want them to experience everything that we have and be part of this. But it's hard as well. It's not always. Yeah. It's not always the case that every single. I wish. I mean. Yeah. Can you imagine if every single person we talk to, we're.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Don't chase people. Give them support. Give them information, and just move on and be there for them. It actually makes it more appealing to them, So that's just kind of my tip. Like, don't chase them. Just give them some ideas to come up with the $9 and move on. And if they're willing to work with you on that, then they are. And if they're not, they're not. So here's a really good question I got texted in for Kate. It says, how long did it take you to start seeing results with customers and distributors? So how long did it take you to really get going?
So that's really good question. Mm-hmm. I cried my first month and was terrified, and I cried a lot. So I know that it's really hard and really scary, and that everybody's first month, some people's are great and some people's are terrifying, and I understand that. And I was one of those people who was terrified, and I got 2 customers. I worked Instagram like it was my only lot in life. Because I didn't start on Facebook, and so I did not I didn't get a single loyal customer until I had between 1,500 and 2,000 followers on Instagram, which a lot of people I see get really discouraged. They're like, I have 300 followers on Instagram and I don't get any customers. You need those numbers. It's got to be in the thousands. But then once I got to 4,000 followers on Instagram, I could not keep up. I just get so many requests every day for information. So that took me a few months. I mean, following 1,000, almost 2,000 people on Instagram, it took me about 2 months. Distributors were about the same amount of time. It took me 2 months to sign up my first distributor.
Perfect. And the people that start off really fast are using their warm market, so family and friends.
Right, and my family didn't want to buy from me or my friends, and so that's what I really try to stress to people is I see a lot of people who get really down because they don't have family and friends that support them, and that's okay. It might take you a little longer, but that warm market's going to run out if that's all you're doing anyway, so it doesn't hurt.
Right, and yeah, it's not the end of the world, right? If your family, and friends don't want to buy anything, it is not the end of the world, and of course it's going to run out, so you have to figure out how to get outside of your warm market sooner or later. So if you need to start that way, just know it may take a couple months to kind of really get social media going or go out and get blitzing, you're going to have to blitz a lot of people before you kind of start seeing that steady response, people calling you and contacting you. So it's all about consistency and sticking with it. The people that are successful in this business are the ones that don't quit, and it's really as simple as that. They learn and grow with their business, and they don't get frustrated. All of us get frustrated. I still get frustrated. So, okay, so let me find another question here.
It kind of segues into this question.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so tips for recruiting customers and distributors for someone working on executive. I post on Instagram 6 to 9 times daily, including 3 personal, 3 at works, and 3 inspirational or other photos. Okay, so tips for recruiting customers and distributors. So they're working on executive level, and they just need tips. I mean, Kate, go ahead. But honestly, I just want to say something real quick. Honestly, working on executive level or working on ambassador level, you're going to be doing the exact same thing. I don't do anything differently than I did when I was at those lower levels. So keep that in mind. It never changes. You do the same thing. You have the same goals every single month, 4 customers and 3 distributors. But yeah, Kate, take it away with some tips.
No, that's what I was going to say too, is that I do the exact same thing today as I did when I started, except that I actually post more now. I didn't realize that you should post at least 3 times a day, an It Works ad and a personal ad. When I started, I was just posting once a day, and that did not cut it. And someone quickly pointed out, you need to be putting up 3 ads a day. So that sounds like she's got the right ratio, and it's really all about numbers, I think, personally. I think that if you just keep at it, you get in the thousands. That'll really help. Use Facebook if you're not. Use Facebook. It's a really good tool. So.
Yeah, and yeah, I agree. She's a perfect ratio, 6 to 9 times daily, 3 personal, 3 at works, and 3 inspirational. That's exactly what I do. And yeah, if you are only working on Instagram, it's a numbers thing. I didn't see any customers or distributors until about 1,500 followers, and then I didn't see any consistent business until 5,000. And now I'm at 13,000, and I'll get about a customer distributor, every day of the month, or on average, I get about 30. So it's all about your new audience that you're following. So if you haven't followed anyone in a week and you're still posting the same ads to the same audience and expecting different results, it's not going to work. So it's all about your priority. If you're using social media, Instagram or Facebook, is following new people. So on Instagram, it's 60 per hour. And you just focus on you are talking to that new audience that you just followed. So if you're reposting pictures, that's fine. But try and show them what you're doing every day with your works business. Those selfies, I'm sorry, but they're important because when you're working in a cold market, it allows your audience to get to know you and trust you and be willing to start a business with you. So I think that's really important. But
yeah, not to change the post ratio, but like you guys were saying, I mean, if you're in a jam and you're thinking, I need to get an ad up, what you should be thinking is, I need to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I need to follow, and then I'll worry about my ads later, because sometimes what's nice, if you get backlogged or life happens, you can do those same kind of posts back to back. It's not always recommended that you do that because you want to try and keep consistency through the day, but when it comes down to it, if you're really in a jam, don't worry about the post as much as you're worrying about the following.
Yeah, for sure. And one other thing about Instagram that I've noticed that people don't realize is the consistency is so important. So if you put an ad up and it gets in their mind, they're like, wow, I want to try a wrap, but they don't order from you right then, they will not remember your Instagram name or how to find you. So what's going to happen is if you don't consistently post, they're just going to go to the next distributor that pops up in their newsfeed. So it's important that you're doing it daily so that you're constantly coming up in their newsfeed so that they can get to you. So just keep that in mind. So don't wait a week and then post some more. So those are my tips. Let's see. So let's see if we can find another question here. I know. Okay. Is it better to convince people to sign up as a no? Oh, sorry, we already did that one. Okay, how do you get your downline to understand the importance of not just posting "Join my team," 2, posting ads, and 3, no personal or fill-ins without seeming like you are stalking their page?
That is a really tough one because you can't control the way other people work their business, which is something I am having to come to terms with. Like, I'll be the first to admit that I'm human, and that is a big struggle for me, is not being able to, it's everybody's business, and I can't control them. The first thing I will say is that you cannot motivate people. They have to want it for themselves. You can't bug them into doing things. They have to see this vision and they have to want it. And that's been really hard for me. The other thing I would say is I actually posted a post in the Diamond Rap Squad recently that was someone who had commented on my Instagram, and I would go and find that and send it to all your distributors. And it was a woman who said, "Thank you so much." She's not a customer. I do not know her from Adam. She said, "Thank you so much for not constantly posting. It works. I understand that it's the way you make your living and it's important, but it's really refreshing that your newsfeed has substance." And she said, "It's the only reason I follow you." So someday maybe she will buy something from me, or maybe she'll send someone my way because she appreciates that. So you really need, you're working with strangers on Instagram. You need, your downline hopefully understands that they need to get to know you as a person, not just a salesman. But you can't motivate somebody to post. My big suggestion would be, a lot of people I think get overwhelmed and don't know what to do, so they do nothing. So like, give them a task. Say, this week I want you to follow this many people and post 3 times a day. Like my team right now, I've told them in the next month, try to follow 1,000 new people and post 3 times a day, because that's what's going to get you those numbers, and that's what's going to get you your business. And I have people, I made a little Instagram plan for my team, and I had several people that said, "Oh, thank goodness, since I didn't know what to do, I didn't do anything." And like I said earlier, when I first started, I wasn't posting enough because I didn't realize how Instagram worked, and I didn't realize that's what people needed. Mm-hmm. So that's.
What about your Facebook plan? What do you challenge your team to do? You know, since, I mean, obviously you're having so much success with Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question. How many people do you follow on Facebook? Because they do have strict, if you follow too many people that don't respond to requests, you can get blocked. So
right.
Do you have a ratio that you found that works?
This is really bad. I do not count the number of people I follow on Facebook. I try not to follow just hundreds of people or even dozens of people a day, because I am afraid of getting blocked. But like I said, I add every woman I see through the people you may know tool. I add every single one. And that would probably be 5 or 6 a day. It was a lot more when I started, before I used up all the people in the people you may know app or tool. When I first started, it was a lot more than that, but now it's probably 5 or 6 people a day. So
perfect. And actually, this is kind of important. I just want to share my screen really quick and show you guys something. Okay, let's see if this works. Start screen share. Okay, so sorry, got some messages up here. So you can go from a computer. If you go to the friend request icon up here, and then you click See All, I probably have some pending ones that I need to close out, so I will show you. So this is really important. Then you go to View Sent Requests. Make sure after a day or 2, if they have not accepted your request, they will all show up here. Maybe I don't have any. So, okay, here they are. So friend request sent. I need to go out and I need to cancel all of these requests, and that will actually keep you out of what we call Facebook jail. So after a couple days, make sure you cancel those out and you don't have these pending requests. That's kind of my little tip for you. Let me get back to my Google.
And I didn't know that, so you learn something new every day.
Did everyone see that? Hopefully you guys just saw my screen. Kate, did you see my screen?
I did, and I didn't know that, so.
Okay, I hope that worked, because I don't know if I clicked the right button, but.
Well, but that may speak to, you know, you haven't been put in Facebook jail because maybe people are viewing your page as, viable content. It's a real person. I mean, every post that I've ever seen from you is, I would not call it an ad.
No, I don't do ads. I try really hard not to do distributor ads because I personally do not want to be advertised to. And before I was in multi-level marketing and knew what it was all about, that bothered me when people were constantly trying to sell to me. So I try not to look at it like that. And my big mindset change happened. I used to not want to use Facebook ever. And my big mindset change happened when I looked at it as giving someone an opportunity to change their life, because it changed my life, and not selling to them or bothering them. And so I try to gear all my posts towards not join my team or, let me sign you up. I try to gear it towards I want to change your life, and this is what it did for me, and this is what it can do for you. I think it's a lot more personable, and people will respond to it a lot better than just a sign, a sign that says "Go Ruby in the next 60 days and get $1,000." Which I love those signs. I put them all over Instagram. But I think on Facebook it's different because you have a relationship with people, because those people know you or know someone who knows you. So you're a lot more realistic, and people think that if you can do it, they can do it, and they can.
Yep, I love it, and that's kind of what John Eric Mosler is teaching us, right? You have to treat each social media differently. So what you do on Instagram is not going to work for Facebook. So treat them differently because they're different things. And I do love your posts. So for all of you that haven't seen them or don't really know, Kate will just do like a post about how it works has impacted her life, and she's just super honest, and they're things that people can connect to with their own life. So so they are good. It's not just like a photo, join my team is what she means. So okay.
Got a request real quick asking if we could show how to
do the list thing on Facebook. Okay, sure. So I'll show you how to make lists real quick. Let me see if I can do this correctly this time. So start screen share. Let me just make sure this is working.
It was working last time.
Yeah, I think I have to put present to everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Okay. Okay, so I think everyone can go click over there and see if you can see it. Okay, so if you go to your home page, and there's the question. Hey, Jen. So over here on, you'll scroll down, and there's Jen again. Okay. Okay, so scroll down right here on Friends. Click on Friends, and you can just click More. And everything's just easier from a computer, so what I'm showing you, you're not going to be able to do from a phone unless you open it in the Explorer. So you have some automatic lists in here, and some, these are automatic ones. I created a non-it works list. So you can create lists, and then you can add people to that list. Once you do that, you can go up here in your news feed. Also, I kind of made the mistake. Of putting all of my non-it-works people in close friends. And what happens with this close friends group is that it will notify you every single time those people make a post to Instagram, which is super annoying. So be careful with this close friends group. Don't use it unless you really want notifications about people. So I made a non-it-works list, and then you can go up to your news feed, and this little arrow, let's see, how did I do that last time? Okay, actually, no, you just click on it from the list. You can click on non-it-works, and I may have some distributors in here, so I haven't played with this a while. Oh my goodness, link's broken. I don't know what happened with that list. But basically, you click on that, and the news feed will be anyone from, let me see if that works. Am I telling this right? So this is anyone. Okay, I don't have anyone in this list, but when you add people to the list, then your newsfeed will be anyone from that list. And so I'll see their posts, and I can, like and comment on them so that when I post something, I'm showing up in their newsfeed. So the more you interact with people, the more you're going to show up in their newsfeed. So that is how you make lists. Again, you go down to Friends, click More, and okay, it's going to pop up there, and it'll say Create List. I don't know what's going on with my Facebook, folks. It is going haywire. But anyway, one other thing I want while I have the share screen, actually, I'm not going to remember how to do it quick enough, but it is you hide your friends list so that when you're friending people, basically they can't go in and friend all of your friends. So people out that you don't know can't go in and friend all your friends. This is your business. These are your customers, your potential distributors. So it's really important you go into your settings and hide your friends list. That's just another kind of thing I always tell people to do. Okay, stop sharing. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so let's get to a couple more questions. Okay, I already did that one. Okay, so this one's suggestions for those to follow, like how to target people on Instagram. I'll do one real quick and then I'll let you take it. But I just follow my friends' followers. So I see like a follower that comments on my photos or likes my photos or is a customer of mine, and I want more people like her. I'm just going to go and follow her followers. Like, click on her followers, and I just go down the list and follow all the women. That's how I do it. Kate, I know you have some great tips on hashtags and other stuff that you follow. You can just give some brief examples. You don't have to say exactly what you're doing, but just maybe some examples.
My secret. My first and biggest thing that I think that a lot of people do not do, and it does take a little more time, is that I look at each person that I follow's profile before I follow them. Because you know, I'm in Instagram jail constantly because I follow too many people. And so the number of follows I have a day are sacred, and I want to use them as best I can. So I click on everyone's profile and try to see that they are at least 18 and that they're in a country we ship to. If they do not, if their entire profile's in Mandarin, not going to be a client for me, so I don't follow them. And I think that's a really big problem for a lot of people, is that they don't choose quality followers. They have a lot of kids following them, a lot of people from, Singapore, anywhere that we don't ship to. It's just not going to do you any good, even though it's a number. So I think that's really the most important thing that I do. As far as following people, pretty much I used to try to follow like types of people, like, oh, women under 30. I just follow everyone now because I have grandmothers on my team. I have clients that are grandmothers. If they're a woman, I follow them for the most part, as long as they're not under 18.
Kate, I think you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know what happened to your internet connection, but we can't hear you. I'm going to wait until I can see you moving down there again.
Oh no.
She was starting to say a really good point about kind of the quality of people that you pick, and not just being obviously the countries are a major factor, but I think
there she's back.
I think there's a quality judgment, Kate, and maybe you can speak. We broke up, so maybe you could speak more to that, the quality judgment that you make when looking at accounts.
Yeah, I was saying that anyone who is from a country we don't ship to, like if their profile's in Mandarin, they're not going to be a customer for me, so I don't add them. I look and make sure they're over 18. A lot of girls will say on their profile, I go to so-and-so high school, I go to so-and-so middle school, and these girls look older than I do, so you can't just look at their picture sometimes. So I know it takes a little more time, but I open every single profile. And I had a distributor recently who was having a lot of problems with her Instagram, so she gave me the password, and I went in there and I looked at all her followers. They were people who can't buy from her, people who aren't 18, people who don't live here, men who were just creeping on her profile. So I think the quality is the most important thing, because she had like 8,000 followers, so she had the numbers, but you have to have the quality and the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
There's a couple questions over here that we got from the YouTube comment section, and we'll talk about one briefly since we're talking Instagram quick, and we're going to bounce back to Facebook. So the question is, what about Instagram jail? I can only follow 10 people a day for about 2 weeks now. Any suggestions on this? I have 3,200 followers.
Okay. This is the $1,000,000 question. Why do you get into Instagram jail, and how do you get out of it? Almost impossible to answer, but a couple things that I've found. So don't follow more than 60 people per hour, so wait the full hour. Also, something that can get you in Instagram jail is when you get close to following 7,000 people. You might not be there yet, but that's the limit. You cannot follow more than 7,500 people, actually, but it'll also take into consideration your pending requests that haven't been answered. That will put you in what's called jail. You can't follow your normal 60. So what you have to do in both of those cases, what's helped me is I go to either Crowdfire or InstaFollow, those two apps, and I unfollow. It'll actually let you unfollow 100 people. So I unfollow all of the people that have recently unfollowed me first because they've looked at my profile and said, "See, I'm not interested." So I unfollow them first, and then I go to my non-followers. I scroll down to the bottom of the list and unfollow until it stops you at 100, and then immediately after, go unfollow, and you should be able to follow 60. If that still doesn't work, you're just gonna have to wait. Sometimes it's 24 hours, sometimes it's a week. So work on Facebook, switch, just keep posting, but just kind of give it a rest on Instagram and go to Facebook.
Keep unfollowing on those apps, though.
That's true.
Get rid of those people while you can, as far as the people that you're recently unfollowed.
And your non-followers starting at the bottom of the list going up because they've been sitting there the longest and haven't accepted your request. 100 people per hour you can unfollow. So,
any further tips on that, Kate?
The big, like you said, keep unfollowing even if you can't add new people. I researched this extensively because Facebook or Instagram jail is the bane of my existence. Part of it is pending friend requests. So. And the requests you have out there. So there might be some people who have let you follow them but haven't, followed you back, or vice versa. You've been able, they've followed you but you can't follow them, and so you've got a pending request. So I try to go and unfollow as many people as I can every hour because it cuts down on those numbers.
Perfect. Okay. So next, we'll do one more Instagram, and then we're going to switch back to Facebook, and I think that's all the questions we have for tonight. So when people like your It Works post, what's the best way to approach them to see if they are interested? And that would just be, I personally don't message the people that only like my posts, and that's only because I have enough people at this point messaging me and asking me for info. But I think it's a really good way when you're starting out. If you only have people liking your posts, contact them. And I would just send them a direct message and just say, "Hey, thanks so much for the like on my post. I really appreciate your support." And then just say, "Are you interested in learning more about this product?" And just send them the picture of whatever they liked. That's what I would do. Okay, I don't know if you do it differently.
I don't do it at all, so I don't have very good advice on that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard people that do it and they get some success. Sometimes they're just liking your photos just so that you'll go and like them back. I mean, Instagram's a very social kind of I scratch your back, you scratch my back kind of thing. So you got to make sure that you're kind of supporting your supporters. So if they're liking your photos or commenting, make sure you go and like one of theirs. It's not that hard, just every once in a while. So they may be just doing that. They're not interested, but they're kind of supporting your business and showing you like. And if you message them once and they're not interested, don't message them again. But you can do it once if you'd like. You don't have to.
Those apps. We got a question. Those apps are called Crowdfire and InstaFollow.
Yeah.
InstaFollowers.
InstaFollow, I think. And there's a million apps. Yeah. You don't have to see. Let's see if you can see. Crowdfire is this red one. And there's one called InstaFollow. There's followers for Instagram. There's a million of them, and they're almost always free. So don't pay money. If you pay money, just find a different one. But Crowdfire seems to be the quickest way for me to unfollow people.
Crowdfire is the nicest and easiest one to do first because it allows you to just take all your non-followers right off the list. If you get to a point where you basically have followed and then go into Crowdfire and you're unfollowing right away, you're going to run into the same people that you have pending requests to. But once you get through your non-followers, then you have to move on to InstaFollower because it has like a ghost follower, which is basically a person that's not interacting with you at all. So more than likely, another ad or something else that pops up in their newsfeed, they're not going to respond to. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's how we've worked it, and it seems to
and you want
keep us out of jail.
Keep those numbers pretty even. You don't want to be following 7,000 people and have only 1,000 people following you back. So you want to make sure you're working on following people as you go. Not super important, but just try and keep them even. Okay, so I think we're on our last question here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about having a separate business Facebook page? And let's have Kate start this one. Kate, I don't even know. Do you have a separate business page or?
I do, and I personally have not had success from my Facebook business page. I've had success from my personal page, and I've paid to boost some posts and things, and I'm going to continue to try that because I think that you just never know. But my personal page gets a lot more. It gets all my business. I've never gotten any business off my Facebook business page.
Yep, and that's I have both, and I found that too. I almost prefer using my personal page. Oops. I was going to show you guys real quick, because this is the last question, so I think we're going to end it on this. So I'm just going to show you real quick the difference between a business page and a personal page. Okay, what? Sorry, I can't do two things at once. All right, start screen share. Okay, so here is, my personal page. I keep it, like a lot about us. I don't put ads up on it. I just kind of, like Kate said, I do more towards distributors and how our life has changed with It Works. I make sure that it says Ambassador Diamond. However, with It Works, that's where I work. However, the business page, oh my gosh, my internet is so slow. So this is our business page. And see, it says business person. There's a couple ways you can go. You can do business person. You can do more of like a product page, like a product, or what is it called? I can't remember. It's like a product page. So like I originally started with another one that was like called Fit and Healthy, and it was geared towards fitness. So you can do that, but I think at some point you want to kind of brand yourself, and so that's why we did a business person and have our name up there. You kind of want people to know you and get to know you and want to do business with you. So the bad thing I don't like about business pages is I cannot tag people. It drives me crazy. So if I want to tag Mark Pentecost or Pam Souter or any of my team, I cannot tag them from a business page. And that just really lowers your interaction with people, and that I don't really care for. The one major thing on a business page that you can't do with a personal page is boost posts. I can actually pay for this post to go out to people that aren't following me, and I can target them based on their gender, their age. Oh my gosh, you have no idea, like what interests they have, what TV shows they listen to, what bands they listen to, if they use credit cards versus PayPal, or there are so many things you can target, and so I have run my business this way a little bit by boosting posts, like a picture of me and my son, and saying I want other moms to work with me. I have done that, and lately I haven't seen as much success. It does cost money, and I'm kind of not a big fan of spending money when you can do so many things for free with this business. So those are my pros and cons about a business page. I think if you're not posting on your I didn't push present to everyone again. If you're not posting on your personal page for whatever reason, then maybe you need to make a business page. If you're sensitive about certain people seeing your business posts, again, create those lists. And when you post on your personal page, you can actually exclude those certain people from seeing your business posts if you want. But obviously, the more people that are seeing your business posts, the better. You never know who's going to be a customer. But those are a couple tips on why you don't necessarily need a business page. It's one more thing to run. But, there's pros and cons. Everyone's a little bit different with that, I think. So.
Yeah, and, we don't talk about, boosting the post as much, one, because, as Ingrid said, it does cost money. Two, you know, at least up until this point, we haven't found the magic formula that, you know, makes that replicatable. You know, I mean, we've had success with boost posts for sure, and we've had the same target audience with a different post that we boosted and nothing. So either it went to the same people and they already responded, or, you know, it went to people that, you know, just weren't interested and we targeted wrong. So that becomes a little bit harder, obviously, and if you're willing and able to play with it and spend some money, obviously it's advertising, and it's
Some
compliant.
people really like it, so.
It's compliant advertising. As long as your ad is compliant, then go for it. Experiment, but there's no golden rule that we have as far as, you know, people are going to respond to this ad or not. You know. But it could increase the reach that you're able to put that in front of, because we've all seen the sponsored ads. I mean, that's how it shows up in people's news feeds. So just keep that in mind.
All right. Well, I hear my kids. They just got back with their sitter, so they're going to make a ruckus in here. So I think that's almost all the questions. I'll answer a couple more questions. I'll just reply to your comments that I saw. But hopefully, Kate, thank you so much for being on our very first one.
Thanks for having me.
Loved having you. Okay, so good night, everyone. Please stay tuned. We're going to do these every Wednesday at 8:30 Mountain Time, which is 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern.
And don't be afraid to message us if there's a subject or something that you guys really want us to cover, or, you know, just anything like that, because, I mean, we have some ideas for the next month, but
yeah, but if we get enough interest in something, then
we could always change.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So, all right. Good night, everyone. Hopefully this was helpful. Bye, Kate.
Bye.